Hello, hello. So I'm going to go over the warm-up that you should have just completed and turned in. You had to graph y equals 3x minus 1 and then y equals 1/2 x plus 4. I am going to graph them on the same graph. Okay. So I have y equals 3. We're actually going to call this line A and line B. Y equals 3x minus 1. Remember, your -1, okay, that is your y-intercept. So that is where your line hits the y-intercept. And in this case, it's -1. So I'm going to go ahead and plot that point right there. And then my slope is 3. So that means it's up 3 over 1. 1, 2, 3 over 1. 1, 2, 3 over 1. And if you want kind of a visual, that's my slope right there. So then I'm going to make my line. And then if you really wanted to do another one, that's fine. And then I'm going to label that line A. And then my B is my y-intercept is at 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then my slope is at 1/2. So 1/2. And remember, it's a positive fraction. So up 1 over 2. Up 1 over 2. And I'm actually going to circle this because I have a point right there, but I want to circle that just so we know that there is a point there. There's some overlap. I'm going to go here, up 1 over 2. Put 1 over here and here if you want to. When we've graphed lines, we always talk about how I want at least 3 points if possible. And this is our line B. Okay, beautiful. So that is what you should have turned in on your graphs. So what we're going to talk about, and I'm not going to introduce systems totally because I have a Nearpod lesson for you guys that you're going to walk through, but I do want to talk about a couple things. I want you to notice right here, and this was kind of part of your homework, that coordinate right there is the solution. So that solution is at 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and that's our solution. That is our solution. So what substitution does is it enables us to solve it mathematically without having to graph, because we're not always going to be blessed with a nice perfect coordinate plane next to every single problem. We will have to do it simply mathematically sometimes, and that's okay. So we're going to do, I'm just going to kind of throw it out at you and see how you feel, but we're going to do this problem, and I'm going to prove that our solution is 2, 5. And then we're going to kind of play around and go back and forth today and solve these mathematically first and then check our answer with graphs. So we have, and in our notes we talked about substitution is if they're both equal to y, you can set them equal to each other. So we're going to do that. Move this down a little bit. Substitution. So y equals 3x minus 1, and I also have y equals 1/2 x plus 4. They both equal the same thing, in this case, y. So that means if they both equal y, they technically equal each other. And if they equal each other, we can literally set them equal to each other. Sounds pretty repetitive, but that's my point. 3x minus 1 equals 1/2 x plus 4. And oh my goodness, we are back to a multi-step equation, which we have done a million times. Okay, you have 4 options. I'm not going to go through this in too much depth because we've done this over and over, but and then 3 minus a half is 2.5. And then x, when you divide by 2.5, divide by 2.5. Or you could multiply by the reciprocal, whatever feels right to you. And then you'll get x equals 2. X equals 2. That sounds familiar. X equals 2. That is what we got. I'm going to zoom you out a little bit. That is what we got right there. Okay? And then, we can find y also because, well, we have two things up here that tell us what y is. So you can pick whatever you want. I don't want to work with a fraction, so that's okay. I can do this one. So this will tell us y, because obviously in a coordinate we need an x and a y. So I found half of my answer right now. So y equals 3, and then my x value is 2, and then minus 1. Okay, and then 3 times 2, whoopsie, I came prepared. 3 times 2 is 6, minus 1, which is 5. Oh my goodness, that looks familiar too. And that is right there. Okay, so we've done substitution and graphing for this one system, and both of them gave us 2, 5 as the solution. Okay, so for the rest of the class, or for the rest of this lesson, you will be doing more in depth of systems. We're going to be talking about what it looks like to have no solution at all, or infinite solutions. And then this is one solution. It intersects one time on that graph. So go through the Nearpod, do all of the assessments that are on that Nearpod, and then there's going to be a little quiz at the end, and we'll go from there. Have fun.